Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video, we'll see posts from the subreddits Am I the A-hole, Relationship Advice, and Today I F'd Up. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now, I'd like to thank all of you that support me, either as YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, or when you donate during the live streams. Your support means a lot to me, so thank you. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's from user Veggie Co-Parent. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my husband fed our vegan daughter chicken McNuggets? My ex and I were vegan. I became vegan when we moved in together because he was vegan and he didn't like there being animal products in the house. I learned more about the way food was made and I agreed. I was vegan while I was pregnant and we've raised our daughter vegan for the past 8-ish years. We divorced 15 months ago. He was not faithful, but while he was a terrible partner to me, he loves his daughter, and during this time I've tried to be a good co-parent. Yesterday I picked up my daughter from her dad's house. He wanted to keep her late because he and his partner were going to take the kids, she has 3, to a matinee of Frozen. So it's dinner time when I'm getting her. As we're driving home, she says she's hungry. I offered her my purse apple. I should have packed better car snacks for the ride. But she spies the golden arches out the window. She has a full-blown meltdown demanding chicken nuggets. We get home and she's like blowing snot bubbles. She's so enraged. She howls her way through a bowl of leftover soup. Honestly, I think I was just being an a-hole at this point because we have chicken nuggets in the freezer I could have made, but rewarding that kind of tantrum seemed like bad parenting. She hates me, I'm a terrible mom, dad would have let her eat chicken nuggets. She wore herself out crying. She was obviously upset when she woke up this morning, asking if I hated her because she ate meat. Obviously not. I spent the entire drive to school reassuring her that I'm not angry with her, but that I was surprised that she wanted them. I also reiterated I wasn't happy with her behavior of screaming and hollering when she didn't get what she wanted. I understand that sometimes our emotions feel big, but we have to try and be in control of them and not the other way around. But I am effing pissed because I wasn't aware our hitherto vegan daughter was now eating meat, and I feel like that's a decision that I should have been informed about. I called him after she went to bed and he told me I was being uptight and he didn't tell me because he knew I'd overreact. I'm controlling and I don't need to be privy to every single thing he does when our daughter is with him. I'm effing mad. There are vegan options at McDonald's. He didn't have to feed her chicken, but since he did, I would have appreciated a heads up. Also, for a dude who gave me a hard time for craving Oreos, which are effing vegan, while pregnant with her, kinda annoyed that he's shoveling crap in her mouth hand over fist taking her to McDonald's every week. I'd always felt like when she became old enough to choose her diet, I'd let her make her own decisions. If she wants to eat chicken nuggets, give her. But I feel wildly frustrated that he unilaterally made this choice. I feel like I should have been made aware. I try to keep him updated on her stuff when she's with me. Am I the a-hole? But OP, you were made aware that she wanted to eat chicken nuggets. She told you. But instead you gave her soup, even though you had chicken nuggets in the refrigerator. Yes, you should never reward a tantrum, and I absolutely agree with you on that one. But why did it get to a tantrum? Did she see the arches and start screaming right away? Because on your post it says that she saw the golden arches and then had a full-blown meltdown. Something happened in between. So on that point, I have to assume that you told her something along the lines that she couldn't have chicken nuggets or something like that, and that's why she had the tantrum. However, you just said in your last paragraph that you felt that when she became old enough to choose her diet, that you'd let her make her own decisions. What age do you have in mind? Because at 8 or 9 years old, I would say that if a kid would like to have chicken nuggets, that's old enough. Of course, not every day and for every meal. Now, at the same time, I do see your point, OP, that your ex-husband could have given you a heads up. Something along the lines of, hey, just to let you know, she wanted chicken nuggets today, so we gave her chicken nuggets. And that's why I believe everybody sucks on this one. What about you guys? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see their judgment. Starbuck Buck Buck says, honestly, you're the a-hole. I said he should have told you, but obviously you would have flipped your crap about it. Clearly, she wants to eat meat and she's old enough to make her own decisions, to some extent, in regards to what she wants to eat. When she's older and can comprehend more fully the nuances of the issue, she may choose to go back to veganism or vegetarianism, etc. Or maybe she won't. But she's an individual, not property, and she should be allowed to make some decisions for herself. I think you could choose to continue feeding her vegan food when she is with you because you are not ethically comfortable preparing or purchasing it. But be prepared, she may not understand that and be somewhat resentful. But I don't think you should control whether or not she eats meat when she is not in your presence. Edit. Honestly, you won't be able to control whether or not she does, so forcing it will only strain your relationship with her and potentially incite her to lie or sneak. Later in the thread, OP responds, the weird thing is, I wouldn't have been upset. My family hunts and I've been preparing for her to ask for a while. I'd already begun to think about how I was going to broach it with him because he was the more strict vegan. But she's never been curious about meat at my family functions, where she encounters it. She's always been happy to eat the veggie burgers and sausages at the barbecues. I'm mad that he didn't tell me. I'm also retrospectively mad that a guy who made me feel like absolute crap about eating a 3-pack of Oreos I bought at a corner store while pregnant because he was such a health food nut is now giving our kid chicken nuggets. I know it's just situational irony, but he made me cry about poisoning our baby with chemicals when I ate boxed vegan mac and cheese, another craving, and he's out here with McNuggets? Oxalix Rex 1 says, not the a-hole. Everyone seems very focused on the vegan thing, but I don't think that's what this is actually about. It seems like he encouraged you to participate in a certain lifestyle when you were together. Vegan, but also Oreo-less, so presumably he was very health conscious. And then changed his mind, which is fine, except the understanding was that you had both decided to raise your child the previous way and he didn't inform you when that changed. It's about communicating with your co-parent. And OP responds, he was super health conscious. I'd get reamed for not buying non-organic bananas. It was awful while I was pregnant because he monitored literally everything I ate for the baby. I'm upset that he chose not to communicate this with me. I try to communicate openly with him about things she does with me during my days and tend to give him a brief 2 to 3 point summary when we do our exchanges. It est, she had an upset tummy on Tuesday. She did well on her math test. She likes her new dance teacher. Even if it's dumb stuff, and he's out here in the streets giving her McNuggets and keeping it a secret? That's not a knife, says, not the a-hole. Even though I personally would not raise a child vegan, it's clear to me that this is something that should be discussed between parents. Even if the scenario was something like, the other kids got chicken nuggets so she begged for them and I'd let her. A heads up about this just seems like basic co-parenting manners. So there you go. The community is torn between you're the a-hole and not the a-hole with arguments on both sides. Regardless of that, I'm sticking with everybody sucks here. Now, this original post is from a year ago. However, OP updated just recently, so let's check the update. So, the kiddo experimented with some meat. We were actually kind of fortunate this happened before quarantine and lockdowns because we could still visit my parents who are meat eaters and who do cook that kind of food and give her some better options to choose from. She liked beef, but also really likes cows, favorite animal after cats at the moment, so decided she didn't want to eat that. She didn't like fish, which didn't take me as a huge surprise because 9-year-olds can be picky like that. The thing she likes the most is breakfast sausage. On Saturdays, we often go to a local cafe and pick up breakfast, a new tradition we picked up last spring as a mental health pick-me-up for us during quarantine. If she's feeling like it, she'll occasionally order something with sausages. I tried cooking breakfast for her during our lockdown, but it was not a success. Oh, and eggs, which makes sense because, vegan egg substitutes are crap. And grandma makes really good scrambled eggs. Probably the food I miss the most. We cook those together maybe once a week and she says she's getting pretty good at it. We still eat primarily plant-based because that's how I cook, and it's what is cheapest, letting us have some nice luxuries like eating out on Saturdays. So that was the resolution of the eat meeting thing while she's in my custody. We're happy with the solution. So that's it. It sounds like OP found a proper balance for her daughter's diet without having to impose any sort of beliefs or any sort of diet in particular. Good for you, OP. Now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's from user ThrowArray Try Again, but my 29 female husband, 30 male, wants to get back together, but he has a girlfriend, 25 female. We were together since we were 18, but we separated 3 years ago. The separation was my fault because I pushed him away when he was trying to be there for me after a miscarriage. We didn't have any direct contact in the first 6 months because I felt extremely guilty being around him because I had an accident that could have been avoided, which I blamed for the miscarriage, and it was easier for me not to face him. Despite that, he has been more generous to me than he needed to be. The dilemma I have is that my ex-husband wants to try again and is adamant he doesn't want a divorce. However, he has or had a girlfriend. He claims she's just a friends with benefits and their relationship has always been primarily about sex. But she reached out to me several times and has told me he is the love of her life. I know from speaking to my sister-in-law that he has broken up with her several times and that she has been trying to force her way into their family. When I spoke to the girl, she seemed to really love him. She made it seem like the only reason they hadn't moved in together or taken the next step was because my husband felt guilty because he is still legally married. She said I was like a black cloud hanging over their otherwise perfect relationship. She also has a daughter who she said is attached to my husband and sees him as her father figure. Also, she said I was making her a struggling single mother again by stealing my husband and that his family were manipulating him into taking me back because they didn't like her. I still love him, but I don't want to be the other woman. It's strange because we're legally married still, but I still feel like a homewrecker, even though they're currently broken up. My family and friends all think I should mend things with him, but I just don't want to hurt someone the way I hurt him again. I could really use some advice on what to do. Well, OP, I would ask you, what do you want? Do you want to be with your husband or not? And as a side note, throughout your post, you referred to him as both your ex and your husband. I am a bit confused about that part because I understand that you are not divorced, but you are separated. Now, regarding the girlfriend, which I am a bit confused as to why he has one, you seem to be okay with it, which fine. She seems a bit off and out there. I mean, first of all, why would she feel like she has to reach out to you to tell you that you're some dark cloud hanging over their otherwise perfect relationship when they've broken up? She's saying that his family doesn't like her because of you, but then your sister-in-law tells you that she's trying to force her way into the family. And also she's saying that you are stealing your husband away from her? That's just weird. OP, in my opinion, if you want to be with your husband and make this marriage work, you shouldn't be concerned about how this other girl may feel or not. That's her issue, not yours. What do you guys think? What would be your advice for OP? Let me know in the comment section, and let's move on to some of the comments that give us a little bit more context and their opinions. AdSweet says, what exactly happened? He didn't stay after you had a miscarriage, and why did he feel it was okay to bang other people while you were married? Why didn't you get a divorce? Now that the worst has passed, he wants to come back? What happened to for better or worse for sickness and in health? OP responds, I asked him for a divorce because I couldn't handle being around him after because I felt like I was suffocating on the guilt whenever I looked at him. He didn't want a divorce. He wanted to work through it together, but I just couldn't. He kept begging me not to go through with it, but I told him our marriage was dead and he should move on. Then I went no contact with him for 6 months. I did talk to him after the 6 months a few times, but it's only been in the last few months that we've reached a point where our communication is more friendly and less about logistics. it really wasn't his fault at all. It was mine. I didn't give him the chance to be there for me. Myths Are Crazy Stories says, how could their relationship be otherwise perfect when he has described her as a friend with benefits and it is just about the sex? Quote, she said I was making her a struggling single mother again by stealing my husband. End quote. Does she rely on him financially? Does he give her money? Basically, someone is lying and you need to have it out with your husband and find out where this lady gets the stones to tell you that you are the black cloud in their otherwise perfect relationship. You need to ask him why she feels like their relationship was perfect and they were ready for the next stage in their relationship if it weren't for his pesky wife getting in the way. Because the person who really needs to get her to leave you alone is your husband. The Last Basilope says, the girlfriend is the other woman, and it sounds like she's trying to manipulate everyone and force her way into being a permanent part of his life, whether that's what he wants or not. Regardless, their relationship is theirs to address. I strongly urge you and your estranged husband to get marriage counseling. Not really to reconcile, but to get to the root of your feelings, both of you, and resolve them one way or the other so that you both get closure. You also need to tell him that his girlfriend has been contacting you and saying those things because whether you get back with him or not, he needs to know how much she is overstepping. Okay, well, we've got some context as to why they were separated and why the husband had a girlfriend. And the community is telling OP and reassuring her that OP is not the other woman and that she should talk to the husband to solve this whole thing. It seems to me like perfectly sound advice. Hopefully OP can follow through with it and she can move forward with her husband if that's what she wants. In any case, we are now moving to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Today I Effed Up, and it's from user Dramatic Bitch Blog. Today I effed up by assuming my boyfriend was cheating on me. His mobile used to ping and light up when someone texted him, and once I saw that someone had texted him with the name Babe and a heart emoji. I didn't think of it as anything and that I had not seen it correctly, but next coming weeks I saw it happening many times. He would get really happy when the person texted, used to smile really big and all. I started thinking I was being cheated on. The last straw for me was when the person texted, love you too. I confronted him about it and he stared at me for some time before he started laughing. I cried because what the hell? So he calmed me down and explained to me that Babe is his grandmother. Her name is Babe Ruth and everyone in the family called her Babe. She recently had gotten her first smartphone and he had taught her to text. So when she texted, it was exciting for him to see her using emojis and stuff. Never felt so embarrassed in my life. A few months later, he took me to meet her, and I kid you not, for an 85-year-old, Babe is a sport. Seeing her punch a guy square in the jaw for harassing was a sight. We are best friends now. Wow, for such a short story, this one had a lot of twists. First of all, boyfriend wasn't cheating. It was the grandma that he was teaching her how to text, which I think is fantastic. Good for you, OP's boyfriend. And then, that last paragraph, seeing an 85-year-old punch somebody in the face for harassing, there's just so much information there. Wow. Thanks for sharing, OP. Babe sounds awesome. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.